UC Security, get back here now! UC Security, you're under arrest. I've got special orders. You're coming with me. Prepare for immediate transport to our vessel. I've been authorized to inform you that you're being transferred to the UC Vigilance. You'll find out more when you get there. Other than that, I'm not at liberty to divulge any additional information. We have orders to transport you and your vessel to your final destination, the UC Vigilance. Any deviation from those orders on your part will be considered an act of hostility and will be met with aggressive force. Smart decision. Stand by to be transferred.
I'm telling you, the commander's got plans for this loser. Why else would he be going through all this trouble?
I still don't understand why he trusts a criminal. Seems like too much of a risk.
Stop worrying and keep an eye on our guest. I'll be right back.
You just sit tight. The commander wants to have a little chat.
The prisoner's ready, sir.
I hope you're comfortable. We have a lot to discuss. I'm your ticket out of the mess you've gotten yourself into. That's all you need to know for now. Highly perceptive. Let me add that to your list of skills. Speaking of which, let's see what we're working with here. Says here that you spent several years as a soldier. That means you understand how to respect the chain of command. Good. I also see that you've mined on Vectera, and now you're with Constellation. You've certainly been quite busy. Oh, and look at that. Right at the bottom of this list is the criminal incident that landed you in my crosshairs. Good. You'll find that I'm a stickler for details, and I'd hate to discover that your file is incomplete. Now that we have that out of the way, let me introduce myself. My name is Commander Kibwe Ikande, and I'm in charge of this operation for UC SysDef. Are you familiar with what we do? United Colonies System Defense. Does that help you figure out exactly what it is we do? UC SysDef is a division of the UC Navy. While they handle the big picture stuff, we deal with a very particular problem. The Crimson Fleet. That convict is where you enter the picture. On the books, they maintain combat-ready spaceborne forces to deter aggression and ensure the safety of the United Colonies. What all that fancy claptrap means is that they're the ones who fight in the wars to keep our territories secure. Are we really playing this game? The pirates, like the ones you tangled with on Vectera? Please stop pretending you have no idea what I'm talking about. No, you don't. Not yet, anyway. We've been prodding at the Crimson Fleet for years, trying to take them down one ship at a time. But we barely scratched the surface. If we can get someone on the inside, we'd have a shot at finding a loose thread we can pull to bring it all down. If the military rolls in and attacks the Crimson Fleet, we'd have a full-scale war on our hands. That means losses, heavy losses, that the United Colonies can't afford. Not for me, for yourself. Look, I'm going to make this simple. Agree to work for UC SysDef, and together we take down the Crimson Fleet. Refuse, and I tell these guys to throw you into the nearest lockup. Might even tack on an extra few hundred credits to your fine. Well, first of all, we'll forget about the infraction that landed you on the Vigilance. Wipe the slate clean. Better still, depending on how well you do your job, we'll even kick in a few extra credits to offset any costs that the operation will incur. Or, you can throw all that away and end up back in jail with a hefty fine attached. Of course you have a choice. It's just stacked in my favor. So, what do you say? You going to work with me, or should I find someone else? If I didn't think you had a chance, I would have left you in lockup. You're just going to have to follow your instincts and trust me. Smart choice. I'm going to have one of my men escort you to the operations center. I strongly suggest that you don't give him any trouble. And don't bother trying to leave the ship. I think you'll find all access to the docking area is fully restricted.
All right, let's go. So, you took the op instead of serving the time. Gonna be the commander's new mole, huh? Going in all alone, infiltrating a bunch of pirates. You've got a lot of guts. Still, it makes you wonder, especially with the stories that go around. Like the one about how the fleet deals with informants by lashing them to the hull of a ship, and then slowly letting the air out of their suit. Could you imagine a worse way to go? I know I couldn't. But I wouldn't worry about it. Since the commander handpicked you, I'm guessing you can hold your breath for a really long time, right? All right. This is as far as I go. Take the lift up to Ops. Commander Ikande should be waiting for you.
Pardon. Most of our operations team graduated top of their class at the academy. If there's fleet out there, we'll find them.
Hey. Okay. Hello.
Excuse me. Hello.
Ah, there you are. Excellent. Now that we've established your level of cooperation with us, I want to introduce you to your new home. This is the Operations Center of the UC Vigilance, SysDef's nerve center dedicated to the destruction of the Crimson Fleet. We are currently in the Sol system, in deep orbit around Phobos. As to why, I'll explain momentarily. Which is precisely why we're taking a more clandestine approach. We need eyes and ears inside the Crimson Fleet. Someone who can feed us information, evidence, and expose their weaknesses. The catch is that you can't just knock on their front door and ask for an application. Getting inside is going to take some finesse. Let's get one thing straight right now. While you're working for me, I'm going to treat you like one of my own. Whatever crimes you've committed in the past no longer matter. You're now an agent of SysDev, meaning that it's my job to keep you alive. I do. Our intelligence has managed to find a possible opening into the Crimson Fleet through Saoirse Bowden, one of their contacts. She works for the Trade Authority in Sidonia, so you'll be using a container of Aurora we've loaded on your ship to get her attention. Aurora is a Class A controlled substance that's illegal to transport outside of Neon, a city on Volai. Get caught with this stuff aboard a ship, and you're looking at some serious fines. That's classified. Suffice to say that the smuggler who was previously hauling it will be spending the rest of their life in prison. You'd better hope so. Saoirse won't be easy to dupe. Once you bluff your way into the Crimson Fleet, then the operation proceeds to evidence gathering. That's where my second-in-command, Lieutenant Gillian Toft, comes into the picture. She'll explain everything you need to know. Let's just say my superiors need proof that engaging the Crimson Fleet is a larger priority than they're willing to admit. If we shove enough concrete evidence under their noses, they'll have no choice but to allocate the resources that I've requested. At the same time, we can use the evidence to arrest members of the Crimson Fleet, weakening them enough to strike a fatal blow. If I didn't have confidence in your abilities, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Remember, this entire operation rests on your ability to infiltrate the Crimson Fleet and bring us the evidence we need to take them down. Then you better learn to swim, because you're diving right into the deep end on this one. I've studied your profile. I know you can do this. I'm not about to throw away someone's life on a whim or a prayer. Just use your best judgment, trust your instincts, and watch your back. I wouldn't expect any less. Look, before you begin, I want to make something perfectly clear. As an undercover operative for UC SysDev, you'll be expected to follow our code of conduct and ethics. Allow yourself to stray too far off the path, and you stand a good chance of spiraling out of control. The Crimson Fleet doesn't follow the rules. They only abide by one thing: money. All of their morals and social graces fall by the wayside in pursuit of their greed. At first glance, this can appear quite enticing, so I'm warning you not to get lured into their trap. Think you can handle that? To put it simply, you can't go into every situation with guns blazing. Think before you act. Calculate what you're doing and pull the trigger only when it's absolutely necessary. At the end of the day, your primary goal is taking down the Crimson Fleet. That's the greater good. That's what I wanted to hear. Anyway, it's time to hand you over to Lieutenant Toft. She'll brief you about the details of the evidence-gathering portion of the operation. Now, get out of here, and good luck. While you're running with the Crimson Fleet, you're undoubtedly going to be faced with some morally gray decisions. It's going to be difficult for you to weigh the consequences of pulling the trigger while maintaining your cover. Do what you have to do, but remember why you're out there in the first place. Then you do what you have to do. The Crimson Fleet has the potential to kill hundreds, even thousands of people per year. If it takes a few deaths to maintain your cover, then so be it. But only as an absolutely final resort. This is not a licensed killing spree. Understood? That's why I expect you to constantly seek alternative means to overcome your obstacles, rather than blowing holes in them. Look, I can see that you're struggling with this. So let me simplify this for you. If there's a route to your goal which doesn't involve killing innocent people, I'm urging you to follow that path. Use your instincts. I'm certain you'll do the right thing. For your own safety, nobody but myself and the crew of the Vigilance will be aware that you're working for the United Colonies. Basically, if you land in jail, you're going to have to deal with the fines. All we know is that she's been with the Trade Authority for years, which means she's been privy to some seriously shady deals. She's shrewd and she's diligent. The only reason we were able to connect her with the Crimson Fleet at all was thanks to an informant. I'm afraid she's the best lead we've got. That's easy to answer. You don't. We'll be monitoring your activities from the Vigilance and attempting to keep it within your vicinity. When you feel you've gathered enough evidence, and at the completion of your assignments, head back here for a debrief. Beyond that, you're completely on your own. As you were.
All right, we don't have a lot of time, so I need you to listen up. While you're working undercover, it's imperative that you gather as much evidence as possible. If you find any records that look suspicious or incriminating, you bring it to me. Is that understood? Well, since it isn't every day we stumble across a criminal's fully written confession, we need to build a case against our suspects. The more evidence we acquire, the stronger our case becomes. And knowing the Crimson Fleet, they'll leave plenty of evidence for you to find. I'd scour every inch of wherever the Crimson Fleet sends you. Otherwise, you're wasting our time and risking your neck for nothing. Criminals are sloppy. Look hard enough, and I'm certain you'll stumble across their mess. You better make it, because Commander Akande cashed in all his chips to get this operation off the ground. I want data slates, computer downloads, handwritten notes. Hell, I'll take anything if it'll get those bastards thrown into the brig. You're damn right I do. That minor skirmish you had with them on Vectera was nothing compared to the death and destruction those pirates leave behind. If you've seen what I've seen, you'd understand why I'm pushing you so hard. Yes, of course. I'm sorry if I brought up any painful memories. Oh, one last thing. A bit of good news, actually. Commander Akande has authorized a credit disbursement for each piece of evidence that you return, as compensation for your efforts. Well, that's just it. You're not career military, are you? And speaking frankly, you're completely out of pocket during this operation. You'll be paying for your own supplies and other unexpected incidentals. So, if I were you, I'd stop asking questions and accept the compensation. It's not generous, it's motivational. Commander Akande's idea. All right, we've loaded a container of Aurora into your ship's cargo hold. We're also providing you with a sample you can use to tease the goods. We've cleared your ship for launch. Proceed to Sidonia. Make contact with Saoirse Bowden. And with any luck, she'll point you to the Crimson Fleet. That should do it. You're dismissed. Don't worry, the container's been registered with UC Security, so you shouldn't have any trouble. Even if you're scanned. Of course, if we find out you tried to sell it to someone outside the boundaries of this particular operation, well, I don't think I need to tell you the consequences of making that mistake. We'll be keeping them close at hand until this operation is complete. So, we'll be holding them in the Vigilance's brig. If you're feeling particularly ruthless, you could always head down there and say hello. I'm sure they'll be thrilled to see you. Not really, no. I've learned to keep my personal experiences separate from the job. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate that you care. It's just that I don't feel like now's an appropriate time to be discussing these things. Let's just stick to the job at hand and concentrate on the mission. But, maybe we can talk about it some other time. Okay?
Killing's not their main motive.
I'll be here if you have any more questions.
They aren't spacers or House of Perot. They'll do whatever it takes to get your creds. And the easiest way is to kill the person holding them.
Yes? The Vigilance is a state-of-the-art warship. Anyone that gets on the wrong end of her guns is gonna have a bad time.
Oh, hello. I don't think we've met. Are you by chance new here? Wait, I know that name. You're that dangerous ex-convict everyone is talking about. Well, don't worry. I'm not scared of you. My godmother was a member of the Strikers gang, and you're not even half as scary as her. My name is Javanta. I'm an ensign with the maintenance and robotics team. And just between you and me, I don't think you're dangerous. Do you? That's what I thought. I like to think I'm a pretty good judge of character. The fact that you came to me, a stranger, eager to talk, tells me all I need to know. Anyway, it was very nice to meet you. If you want to talk some more, I will be here. Oh, I have so many questions. There is not enough time to ask them all. But I will be respectful of your criminal history as it is in the past. We must look forward. Instead, I will ask you a very simple question. Are you a morning, afternoon, or night person? Oof, then we can't be friends. No, I'm kidding. Of course. But I prefer the early hours myself. Do I? I guess that's a compliment. Everything is just better in the morning. The food, the air, the coffee. But the thing I like best is the quiet. When I can look out into space and see the whole galaxy is asleep. When it's that quiet, the only noise you hear is from the Vigilance itself. In fact, we keep each other company when the world is too busy snoring in their beds. Makes it so the mornings are just for us. Oh, I'm part of the maintenance team that makes sure the Vigilance is operating smoothly. On the robotic side, I take care of the Model A's on the ship and make sure they're treated with respect and dignity. They are people, after all, just like us. Not here. With a drone, clients would come in and bring their robots for maintenance. And the condition these robots were in was appalling. Not to mention the way they were talked down to. Personally, I think the way you treat your robots says a lot about you. See? I knew there was something I liked about you. Machines are very dear to me. Think of it this way. How can we expect a robot to fight by our side if we won't fight for their right to exist? So I always do my best to treat them as my equals. It's a good question. It was what you'd call a minor moral crisis. I wasn't happy with my old job at Drone. I felt like my life was on an assembly line. Everything was about profit, and nothing had any real meaning. But then it occurred to me, if I'm so miserable, I could just leave. So one day I just did. Sistef is far from perfect, but our goal is noble. I can sleep soundly knowing my work will be for a cause that is just. Don't be a stranger.
Howdy.
Pardon. Hello. course while we scan your ship's cargo. And complete. Enjoy your stay in New Atlantis.
Just leave whatever it is you're selling on the desk.
If you're here to buy or sell, you might want to talk to Octai. I'm busy. Octai Enbayar. He's the head of our Sidonia branch. If you want to do some trading, he's the one you need to be talking to. I'm busy. And by sensitive, I'm guessing you mean something you don't want UC Security sticking their noses into. I can probably help you with that. What have you got for me? I'm not talking price until I know what the hell I'm buying. Aurora, huh? Nice. A little too hot to handle, though. What else you got? Oh yeah, well, I got some bad news for you, love. This location doesn't buy shit like that when UC Security's sitting a stone's throw from the front door. Of course, if there's a finder's fee you're offering, I might, well, bend the rules a little bit. You must be new at this game, love, so I'm gonna let that one slide. In our business, nothing gets done until money is exchanged, even if that means leaving a credit on each and every rung of the ladder as you climb your way up. You know, it's funny. Suddenly, I do remember someone who might be able to unload that stuff for you. There's a buddy of mine who runs with the Crimson Fleet. Goes by the name Adler Kemp. If he isn't passed out, you can find him killing the rest of his brain cells at the Broken Spear. Oh, and it's been a pleasure doing business with you.
Take your time. Ask me if you need anything.
Elevators or stairs to reach the other level. Try to keep...
Unless you're here to serve me another drink, you can turn around and walk away. Hey, why don't you say that a little louder? I don't think every single UC guard in Sidonia heard you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think we can help you with this.
If you've got a whole shipment of this stuff, you're going to need to move it fast. But you're going to have to do something for us first. Pipe down! What the hell's the matter with you? You want to get us both thrown into lockup? Look, I don't know what that big-mouth Saoirse told you, but I keep who I run with a secret in public, and I suggest you do the same. Now, do you want my help moving your product, or not? You're a clever one, aren't you? Let's just say I have a certain influential affiliation. And leave it at that. Basically, you want that Aurora moved, I'm your guy. Right down to business, and no small talk. I like it. Now listen up, because I'm not going to repeat myself. I need you to deal with a miner who's racked up a bunch of debt. He probably spent it all on booze, not that I blame him. Either way, I want that money back. What do I need to do here? Write you an instruction manual? You can do this loud, you can do this quiet. I don't care. I just want my goddamn money, and I want this guy to remember who he screwed over. Perfect. His name's Carl Fielding. I think you'll find him wandering around the Deimos miners' quarters. Don't worry, you can't miss him. Just look for the most miserable-looking guy in the entire place. Why are you still here? Get my money from Carl, or get... Oh, I can't believe I need to spell this out for you, but here goes. You're doing me a favor, and in return, I'm doing you a favor. There are no free rides. That's how shit works around here. The sooner you learn that, the sooner you stand to make some serious money with us. What? Get the hell out of here, smartass. Just because I kicked a few credits Carl's way doesn't mean I'm opening a goddamn bank.
Hey, I heard a rumor.
There's nothing like seeing old soul come through.
Something I can help you with? Adler Camp. Who the heck is that?
Of course, I owe money. Unless you're independently wealthy. Everyone's in debt nowadays. I owe Deimos. I owe my landlord. I owe Galbank. Heck, I have a tab at Parsec Deep at Cespear. It's an endless list. So why don't you just leave me here? Let me get drunk and find someone else to bother. Okay?
Adler, you said? Nope. I think you have me mixed up with someone else.
Look, I'm tired. It's been a long day in the mines. I just want to go home, wash off the dust, and relax.
This has been fun, though. Whatever.
Hey now. Take it easy there. Let me think about that person you mentioned. Adler, was it? Oh, wait. You mean that Adler? Yeah, sorry. I thought you were talking about someone else. I told him I'd pay up next week when Deimos cuts our next profit share check. I'll even bring it to him personally. Sound good? Yeah? Well, I mean, he doesn't really have a choice. Look, I haven't got a single credit to spare right now. Okay? You can't squeeze blood from a stone. You know? Right? I'm a miner for Deimos. It's not what I was hoping for out of life. But here I am. Yeah, it's a lousy company. Pays me a salary. But I depend on the profit-sharing bonuses to keep food on the table for my family. Hey, now wait a second. Just because things are tough, and I might be spending my afternoons at the spear, it doesn't mean I don't care about my family. Adler doesn't get to judge me. No, he's just a low-life pirate who thinks he can push everyone around. Holy crap. Really? You'd do that for me? Wow. I don't even know what to say. Thank you. For everything. And don't worry. I'll never borrow anything from Adler again. I promise.
Prepare for today's final subterranean particle detonation. Be advised to secure this particle and find stable ground or remain. Detonation occurs in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Final particle detonation concluded. It is now safe to resume normal activity for the remainder of the day. Detonations to resume tomorrow morning.
If Rand offered me a nice cushy office.
Ain't you brave?
Have something for me? There, would you look at that? I knew that bum was holding out on me. He going to be a problem anymore? Or did he get the message? Nice, nice. You're kind of a natural at this. Leaning on deadbeats comes easy to you. I like that. You know, if you like this kind of work, I can get you more. A lot more. You think you can handle running with my, associates? If you haven't figured that out by now, then maybe you aren't cut out for our line of work. That's what I'm talking about. I like your style. All right. I'll call ahead and get a hold of Nevamora. She's second to the big boss himself. Head out to Europa. You'll find her there. I suggest you listen to whatever she has to say. Oh, and I've taken care of that Aurora shipment for you too. Don't spend all that cash in one place.